Okay, so here's the next section. Hopefully you can see the board.
So many books. Okay. Ooh, the first thing I see is Grauiger and Asperior. Tell me about these. They are comparatives. Very good. Okay, so just in case you've forgotten, adjective, adverbs, comparative. Yes, Eeyore.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I can recognize what's important, I just don't know why.
It means more. It means more or rather. Yes, more or rather. Okay, so you guys say you like starting with me just reading the translation really quickly, just so that we all remember what it says, because you might have slept since you did it. It helps me too, so I don't mind it at all. So, 45. Oh my goodness, guys, we have 45, 46, 47, 48, and we're done. Okay. By how much the assault was more serious and more adverse every day, and particularly because, since a large part of the soldiers had been exhausted from wounds, the matter had come down to a small number of defenders, by so much more frequent letters and messengers were sent to Caesar, some of whom were caught and killed with torture inside of our soldiers. There was inside a Nervian, Vertico by name, born of a respected position, who had fled for refuge to Cicero at the beginning of the siege, and had bestowed on him his good faith. This man persuaded a slave, by the hope of freedom and with great rewards, to carry a letter to Caesar. He carries it out, fastened inside a spear, and having moved without any suspicion as a Gaul among Gauls, arrived at Caesar. From him it is learned about the dangers of Cicero and the legion. So we're leading up to the most exciting part, which is the spear that gets stuck on a roof for 3 days. 2 days? Too long. It gets stuck on a roof for too long. Okay. One of the first discussion questions in Perry, from the discussion answer right here, I'm assuming it has something to do with, why would Caesar talk about the fact that the Gauls tortured Romans in front of the other Romans? Let me see if I can find the exact words. Well, more like, yeah. So why would he include it? He would include it to show that they're evil, wild creatures, to prove his point that they're barbaric, and what two effects would the Gauls' treatment, like ignoring Caesar's reasoning for putting it into his report, what two effects would the Gauls' treatment of the captured messengers have had on the Romans? You're watching your men be tortured. Think about every movie you've ever watched, usually the sci-fi movies, where the bad guy has them and they're on video feed and they're like, give me the information! And they're like, no! So they push the button and it electrocutes their prisoner. I said, give me the information! And at this time the person screams even louder. What does it do to the people watching? It does. It rips their technical word for that is demoralize. Yes? So the essay term for rips your heart out is demoralize. There you go. You good, Cohen?
Yeah.
The essay term for rip your heart out. You good, Emily? Yes? Okay, the essay term for rip your heart out is demoralize. It was really specifically the messengers that the Roman soldiers, or that the Gauls would capture and torture, so that the Roman soldiers would see, not only did the message not get out, now the person who took the message is being tortured to death in front of you. So it demoralizes them on two fronts. On the one hand, they're seeing one of their people being tortured, and on the other hand, it also makes them think that there's never going to be any help, and why would they on earth would they volunteer to be a messenger when they're just going to be captured and tortured to death? Right? Okay. Did anyone have any questions? Were there any parts that Fast Talker left blank?
You did a pretty good job with this one.
Good. Can you talk about Quanto? And what's going on with Quanto? First of all, wherever there's a quanto, there should be a tanto. Yes? So anytime you see quant, you're looking for tant. It's true. Okay? The technical term for that is correlative. They correlate. Yes? Quanto is the by how much? Quantity? By so much is the tanto. Okay? And they are both ablative degree of difference. Of difference. Okay? Everybody good with oppugnatio is nominative. You see that eo, and you know it's going to go eo, eonus. Yes? Okay? So you're not going to fall into that trap of looking at it and thinking that it is second declension. Right? Because it's not. It's third declension. Alright? What case is militum? Genitive. Why? What triggered the genitive? Parte. Very good. It's called a partitive genitive because it comes from the part. Get it? Okay. Paucitatum, funis. What tense is pervenerat? With that era. Very good. Perfect. That's the one that's going to be finished before the perfect. So it's past, it's more past, it's more finished, it's had. Okay? So very few of the defenders had arrived, or whatever that is. So by so much, so by how much, and then tanto would be by so much. So by how much more serious and sharp, by so much, whatever crebriores means. Ah, thick, close, numerous, frequent. By so much more frequent letters and messengers are sent to Caesar. Okay, what case is quorum? Genitive. Why? Fine, good. And what kind of genitive is it? Partitive genitive. Very good. You get it? You get it? Partitive. Cohen, do you see? Do you see the joke? Partitive. That's a funny joke. Cum cruciatu is weird. I guess not necessarily. Knowing what I know and not being a native speaker, I probably would have just written cruciatu instead of cum cruciatu, but ablative of manner is going to use a cum, sort of like you graduate summa cum laude. With the greatest honor. So that's the manner in which you are graduating. So cum cruciatu would be an ablative of manner with torture. Everybody good with batur? Ooh, let's go through all of the things for nekabatur. Subjunctive or indicative? Okay, let's start easier. What tense? Ba. Imperfect. Ba. Yes, imperfect. Okay. Active or passive? Tour. Passive. What's the subject? Pars. Pars is the subject. Part of whom was killed. What?
That's not what I was saying, I just went for it because
Ours is a subject. Is that what you're asking?
No.
Well, you're right.
Okay. I'm too tired to like, yeah.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so imperfect, passive, first, second, third, what person?
Third.
Third, singular, very good. And then the pièce de résistance, indicative or subjunctive? It can't be subjunctive. It's indicative. It has to be indicative. You would never see a ba in subjunctive because subjunctive imperfect uses the infinitive with the ending stuck on it. Right? Okay. Oh, I love this. Look at this. Loco natus honesto. Born in a modest or an honest place. Okay. We see perfugerat and praestiterat. What tense? Perfect. Dead giveaway is the erat, yes? Unless it's by itself, like it was. Where'd it go? I just saw it. Erat, 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 erat. Oh yeah! Erat. That is the imperfect of sum, yes? So if it's erat by itself, that is not the pluperfect. So it is the imperfect was. Okay? But whenever you have erat stuck in the middle of a verb like that, that is plu. Okay? Persuadet does an interesting thing. What does persuadet do? It does. It takes the dative. So in this case, servo is the dative that goes with persuadet. So this man persuades a slave. And then this is ablative of means or instrument. Okay? By the hope of liberty and great rewards. My niece goes over here. Okay? As he had delivered letters to Caesar. Illegatas is a fun little word. Describes has, which refers back to literas. My arrows are starting to get confusing. Okay. But everybody good? What's going on with illegatas? What is that? Okay, let's start with it's describing something. So that means it has to be what? It's describing has, which is referring back to litera, so it's technically by 2 degrees of separation describing a noun. What? It is accusative, very good. It is accusative and plural and first declension and feminine. So it's accusative, first declension, plural, feminine, describing has. Oh, what? What describes things? Adjective, very good. Okay, so it's an adjective, and this is a very specific kind of adjective that comes from a verb. It's a verbal adjective, which we call. It's a participle! Okay, now here we go. It's a participle. Which participle? Very good. It is passive. And there's only one tense when it's passive. What is the tense? Perfect! Good job. Perfect passive participle. You can do it.
That's not well.
You can do it. Okay? So that man carries out those things having been tied on a spear. Come on, guys. It's the most entertaining part of the whole story.
I thought I got more routine.
He ties the letters to the spear like the Bobby Camilla. If you haven't done that sight reading yet, you need to do that sight reading. I think that's why this is the most entertaining part for me. It makes me think of when Camilla's papa tied her to the spear and threw her across the river.
What? Yeah.
Do your sight readings.
I was reading it.
Did you like the picture? I had to work really hard to get a picture that showed what was going on without showing too much crotch region.
When I was reading it, I was just thinking like, fly.
Yeah. Fly, you fools. Okay. So anyways.
Raining babies.
Yes. And okay, and this is interesting. Versatus means existed, right? It's from a deponent. So this is one that you wouldn't necessarily know. Let me see if it's even here. So versatus is sort of it says it's from verso. I thought there was a verb versatur, but I guess I'm wrong. At least Harry says I'm wrong. What does Khan say? You know, I always agree with the expert that agrees with me. So what do you say, Hans? He says verso. Oh, passive as a deponent conduct oneself. Yes, so he exists. Like verso, meaning like turn. In the passive, it means to exist. Okay? So the Gaul existed among the Gauls. This is fun. Look at all of the prepositional phrases. Right? So the Gaul, having existed among the Gauls without any suspicion, arrived to Caesar. And from this man, so the question is, who is Ao? Nope. Maybe. No, this is the slave. Yeah, it's the sinners. From him, it is known, so you have to kind of supply an id here. Yeah, cognoscitur, like id, so sort of like an impersonal verb. It is known about the dangers of Cicero and of the legion. Genitive. Simple genitive, just gen possession. The very first genitive that you learned is Latin words. Okay? Questions, concerns, comments? Okay? Oh, here's a fun one. This is an ablative of specification. And this is an ablative of source. It does. In case you're ever wondering, is she making these up? No. No, I am not. The only one I ever make up is ablative of indifference. And you know what kind of ablative that is? The one where I don't care what kind of ablative it is. Yes? We came up with that one in college, the ablative of indifference.
Sometimes I think like Latin is some weird, obscure torture device that you created yourself just for us. Like you came up with all these complicated rules and sat us down and you were like, alright children.
This is the arbitrary rules of the arbitrary game.
It's time to learn.
Winner gets an A.
I hate that.
You started the metaphor. I just finished it.
Wait, winner gets an A is not realistic.
Okay. Let's see. Ugh. So the way this book works is it's got. I'm not even on the right. Am I on the right chapter? It's got like 3 chapters squished together, so I have to figure out which lines are where we are now. Oh, that's right. 45 is ridiculously short and 44 is ridiculously long. So most of the questions are for 44. So I'm starting with line 24 through line 33. Tomorrow, 26, is very, very short. So, you know, enjoy yourself with that. Mm-hmm. One of your questions in this line, right here. In this line, right here. Quorum is A, partitive genitive, B, adverb, C, adjective, or D, indefinite pronoun.
Partitive genitive.
Very good. And why is it a partitive genitive?
Cars.
Cars! Fear or humor? Those are the best teachers. So you're a little frightened every time I yell, and then it makes you giggle just a little. And then who knows? Maybe you look at it and you go, "Cars!" on the AP test.
Just
Cars! So don't actually say it out loud. Okay, everyone disqualified.
Good. You should recognize it.
Okay, from this line right here, what do we learn about where to go? Who is he? Is he A, a Roman nobleman, B, one of the Nervii, C, a Roman soldier, or D, a slave? One of the Nervii, actually. Yeah. Okay, a Nervius, a Nervii. I didn't know. Nerve. Okay, what is the antecedent of has? Your choices are Caesaram, illegatas, literas, or gallus. Yeah, it's actually literas. Illegatus is describing has, which refers back to literas. Yes? So technically, by what's the transference, illegatus is describing literas.
Yeah.
If A plus B equals C and B equals C, then A equals C. So isn't that transference? Isn't that what that's called? The what? Transitive. I was. It's a different form of to go, not pero. Okay, almost done. Are we done? Oh, yes, we are done. Okay, that's all of the multiple choice questions that I have for that particular chapter. Have fun with 46. It is not very long. It's like this long. That's it. That's all 46 is. It's like this long. So, watch your video. Hopefully it shouldn't be a very long video. And we will be done with New Caesar on Tuesday next week, which means that you'll have your essay on Wednesday and your test on Thursday, and we will start Caesar Book 4 on Friday. I still have to get Book 4 sent off to the coffee shop, so that's fun.
Wait.
Do you not? Because you don't have Book 4 yet, do you? Then you need Book 4. No, there are 2 Book 4s. The only one that we have multiples of, no, Book 6. There are 2 Book 4s and 2 Book 6. I'm listening to this book, and no, the part I just got to, there was a woman that was a dog breeder that was helping the main character, and the evil demon character just made him kill all of her dogs. Yeah, it's the 8th book of the Mercy Thompson, and I don't mind telling you that because I don't think that's a spoiler. I feel like that's an emotional preparation. Yeah. Like, every dog you see dies. That's the dogdied.com. Bye! See you guys at movie night, maybe? Maybe not? Steven, you gonna bring your girlfriend?
After Montreal.
Wonderful! So maybe next time. Okay, alright. Bye, Sienna. About this time? Next time. Garrett's coming today. What did you want to know?
I'll spam him. I'll be here.
I can't.
My friend was telling me about it, and I was like, nope.
I want to be like on all of the profiles. Do not ever recommend. I'll tell you what we'll do.
No.
Are you gonna stay for the movie night?
Yeah.
Do you for sure have permission from your mom?
I texted her early for
Bye. I know Bryn was planning on it. Make sure that you're in the Jinx JCL 1920. Let me stop my video. Make sure that you're in the Jinx JCL. Can you leave the door open for me, please?
Yeah.
You're in the Jinx JCL 1920, and then your mom, as an observer, can see